Hey everyone, Coty here, and today we're going to be doing a scrape painting, and we're going to be using mostly yellow and brown, and like this yellow ochre, which is kind of a mixture of yellow and brown. Yellow and brown are colors that I do like yellow, but brown is not a color I'm very comfortable using, so I'm trying to kind of branch out and use some other colors that I don't normally use. So today we'll be doing a scrape painting, kind of in the style of Gerhard Richter a little bit. And we're going to be using the yellow and brown because they're colors that I don't normally like to use, or at least not in most situations. So what we've got is a brilliant yellow, and then we have a naples yellow, I think is what it says. I don't know, there's paint on. And then we got cadmium yellow, burnt umber, and then yellow oxide. And this is actually the order that we're going to be scraping in. And so we've got a small square canvas panel, and I do like using canvas panel for these types of paintings because you can get kind of a flat scrape on them, whereas when you do the canvas, it kind of presses into the center a little bit. So, I do like using the canvas panel for these types of paintings, at least for the small ones. All right, so take the plastic off, set it aside. I might actually use the plastic later. And we're gonna line this up. I have a couple of screws here in the table to keep it in place. Now, what we'll probably start off by doing is we're going to paint the background this brilliant yellow. Just made a mess. And we're gonna go ahead and paint our background completely yellow with this brilliant yellow. The reason for that is because the scrapes usually don't tend to cover the whole surface. They tend to leave little gaps when you do these scrape paintings. So we're gonna put this yellow across the background to give us a background. That way, if there's any gaps, we're not looking at just white canvas. So I'm gonna spread this out. Pull it up. Oh, I guess I could just brush downward. And I tried to do a poured painting the other day. It did not turn out very well. That's why there's a bunch of gold underneath this canvas panel. All right, so we're just gonna fill this in. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this in water so it can soak. And we will move on to our first color that we're actually going to scrape. So first one is this naples yellow. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it on to the trowel itself. And we're going to kind of push it out to the edge here. And then I'm going to push it down pretty heavily. Trying to get this paint on the end here. All right, it didn't go very far, so let's try putting it on the canvas panel itself and bringing it along. See, different tools give you kind of different effects. And what I find with these is that they give you bigger blocks of color as opposed to using the plexiglass scraper that I have, where I can kind of pull the whole thing because you can bend it. So you're getting part of it on there and you're getting more of a scrape. This is flatter, so it doesn't bend as much. So what happens is it crushes the paint, but it kind of keeps it in one place. But that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run a line of paint along here. And I'm really going to try to kind of push these colors together. So I'm going to start at the we'll start at the top. And I'm pushing down pretty hard. Now you're going to see some lines coming through here. It's because of the paint on this scraper is actually coming off. So it's probably too much. It's pushing it too hard. So I'm going to switch to a little trowel instead. I think that I can get 2 of those because the trowel isn't going to make those marks. So I don't mind these. I think for the gloss enamel as opposed to the acrylic, I tend to have better results with that, you know, drywall trowel. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do the top. And I'm really gonna kind of push down here and see if we can kind of extend this paint, if we can get it to really move together. Okay, now we're getting a pretty cool effect here. There we go. Now that's kind of what I was looking for, this mixture of colors, and for that kind of that little design. Cool. All right. Well, that looks pretty cool. So we will go ahead and put our last color on here, and we'll see kind of how we get. So it's apparent that it is easier to do it with the little drywall scraper than it is the trowel. And you would think I would remember all this stuff, but I use so many different tools and I don't remember all the effects of them, to be 100% honest with you. All right. So we're going to start at the top. I'm going to pull this bad boy right through these other colors. Okay, it kind of washed away. You can see that it kind of pulled those other colors off, so it's unfortunate. So I'm not going to push as hard. I'm just going to kind of push down but not scrape it as hard. And unfortunately I got to do the middle part. Okay, so I do like it. I do like this kind of burnt umber color coming through the bottom. I kind of hate that it all kind of got covered up. So I'm kind of thinking about adding another layer of something to kind of lighten it. So I think I'm going to add another layer of this Naples yellow. Apparently it's really low and I don't ever remember using this color. And screw it. I think I'm going to add the burnt umber again. We'll see what we get. Because life is an experiment. All right, so I'm going to pull those through. Okay, yeah, now we're getting some distinct colors. Okay, that's kind of what I was aiming for. I'm not pushing very hard or pulling very hard. I'm not pushing down. I'm just kind of like medium pressure to kind of float it on top, but to pull it all the way through. And then I'm just going to go ahead and overlap that a little bit to get that center part. And then we'll go down here. Okay, now that has some character to it. I do like that quite a bit. So I'm gonna kind of lift this up to get it out of the liquid paint that's there. And then I will show you guys. So I'm gonna set that aside. And then I'm gonna put this scraper in water and a trowel. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our gloves off here and take a look. All right, so that I actually do like. That is pretty cool. It has these unintended, like very thick, heavy, like bars of color. And again, it wasn't necessarily, intended, but the bars actually look kind of cool because it almost looks like it was intended, right? Like we meant to make these heavy bars of color. But you can see all the way down to the raw canvas in some of the layers, and then you can see like right there, you can see like the stacks of the colors. So that's pretty cool. I think it actually turned out pretty cool at the end. So I'm glad that we went over it one more time because I think that really bolstered the character of it. And I think it turned out pretty cool. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. God bless, and see you then. Bye, guys.